Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my channel. My name's Josh. I wanted to do something different in this video. I kind of wanted to do something a bit more experiential in terms of things that have happened to me in the past. Not bad stuff, just interesting, good stories some people might find interesting. One of the things I wanted to discuss was I used to play a lot of Paper Magic, and I'm staring here at 23 commander decks, but it didn't used to always be Commander. I started playing Standard. This was a long time ago. This is in 2010, I think, just when around the time I started university, and I saw a pre-con in a shop, and it was Waterstones. If you're in the UK, you'll know what that shop is. In the US, other places, it's just like a bookshop, and they sold pre-cons. And this was I think it was around Zendikar, Scars of Mirrodin, and they had a precon for one of the vampire decks. And I bought it, and it had like Calastria Highborn in it. I'll try to put some of the card art up on screen so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. But then I just started trying to learn it with a friend, and then it turns out one of my other friends, I won't name them because I don't need to. They know who they are, and this it doesn't adding the names doesn't actually add anything to the story. But then one of my friends, he brought around some magic cards. He had accumulated a big box of magic cards from a friend. I think he bought it from a friend for like a really small amount, or they came free. Anyway, we played Magic just on a whim. It was just absolutely random because at the time I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon and Duel Masters. Basically, I played a lot of card games. So I've got a lot of experience with card games, and I made card game. I made my own card game actually in university, so that was really good. And I might even share that one day. But it's a paper card game, not digital. But anyway, so I started playing Magic on a whim, and I remember it took us so long to figure out what all the abilities were. When we first saw Trample, it was like, wait, how does this damage work? Does it get assigned? Do you assign it how you want, or yeah? But anyway, it's hard to think back and revert back to an era where um I didn't know the rules, because now there's just so many rules, and it's just such a brain fog trying to think of all the rules of Magic. But back then it was a lot simpler, and all the abilities and stuff. Even back then it was complicated. So I really feel bad for people who are trying to pick up the game today with all these extra abilities, and there must be hundreds of keywords and stuff now. But yeah, back then we struggled with just stuff like Trample. When we played and played and played, and it was super addictive. And we used to play 60 card, 1 versus 1. And Commander wasn't even a thing back then. So it was interesting to just play it for fun, and it was just kind of like the rawest, purest form of Magic back then. And then as time and years went on, Commander became a thing, and then I was lucky enough to kind of know a few people in circles where we could play Commander games. I know that's one of the saddest things about Magic is the actual gathering part is the hardest part to do, because you can't be near people to play with them, and that's why Arena, the game we all love and play nowadays, is kind of like a solution to not being near your friends. But even so, somewhat ironically, I don't really play with my close friends, which is maybe for the best, because 1v1 isn't really fun. To be honest, it's not the banter filled, 3 or 4 player commander pod that you'd have around a friend's house, and you're just having a fun time, listening to music, having some jokes. But yeah, so I started 60 card, moving into Commander, and then Commander was it was like a revelation. It made me stop playing every other card game. I played Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon, took a side seat. I don't play those anymore, but I do have fun memories, and I still can play them. I play them with a couple of friends when we meet once a year. But yeah, so Magic really dominated my life, and Magic reminds me of friendship, being able to make friends. All my friends are through hobbies. So if I didn't have hobbies, I wouldn't have any friends. And that's why I always say LGS is really important. Local game store. It's really important to find people. And if you're not a person to actually step outside and want to go to an LGS to meet people, I totally get it. I have social anxiety, something like that sometimes. So I can't force you. Nobody can. But I will say it opens up a whole new world if you just step outside and into an LGS one time. Even if you just have a look, ask the manager or the people around, just just what the store's like, and it might change your world. So yeah, honestly, it kind of changed my world. I don't know. It's hard to say. Would I have, like, my best friends are Magic related, Warhammer related, or other card games. So yeah, it would have, yes, it would have changed my world. So when people say it's just a game, it isn't really, because there's a lot more to it than just the physical cards themselves. So one of the other things I wanted to talk about was some of my most memorable Magic moments in history, in terms of ones that stuck out in my head. I think the first one is when I went to a PPTQ. So you know what that is? It's a preliminary Pro Tour qualifier. So if you win this tournament, you'd go to the PTQs and you'd have a chance to go to the Pro Tour, basically. It's something that I don't know if Wizards does anymore. I don't think they do, because since Arena came out, they've basically thrown away paper Magic and gone, oh, digital is the only way. And it's quite sad, because there's something about watching paper tournaments or being in a paper Magic tournament that's just a lot more exhilarating and a lot more exciting. And people are actually less toxic in real life. I found people will shake your hand and say good luck and all that stuff, even if they didn't mean it. The thing about Arena is, the difference in Arena is, people just don't have the courtesy anymore. People just do the most vile things, emote spam and rope, and they don't really care about the person on the other side. But at least in paper tournaments and stuff, there would be like a courtesy and a camaraderie that you might have with your peers, and you get observers, your friends standing around watching you play. Anyway, so I was at this PPTQ, and it was a smallish event. I can't remember how many players it was. It must have been about 16 or something, maybe more, in a small shop in the UK. UK doesn't really have many big stores. I've probably seen about 2 or 3 big stores in my whole life in the UK. Opposed to Japan and America, have a lot bigger stores. But in the UK, small. So the Magic scene is a lot smaller. That's why my viewership from on this channel is, most people are not from the UK, which is just a little random tidbit for you there. Anyway, I was in the Pro Tour qualifier, PPTQ preliminary Pro Tour qualifier, very much of a mouthful, and I was in. It was the final. I got to the final, and it was me versus this guy that, weirdly enough, I used to work with, and he was incredible. He's probably one of the best players I've ever played in my whole life. And we got to a really intense final game. Now, I can't remember if this was, I think it was 1-1 at this point. So I had 1-1 and he had 1-1. And I made the biggest mistake of my Magic career, technically, because I could have gone on to do bad things. But basically, I basically had lethal on board with a Dragon Lord Dramoka. And this was standard, and I was playing something like, the reason this is an interesting story, because there's a really spicy card. I was playing Esper Dragons at the time, and the main cards were Dragon Lord Ojutai and Dragon Lord Silumgar. But I splashed Haven of the Spirit Dragon or something like that, which allowed me to tap for any colourful dragon. And because of this, and I always used to break the meta, I put in a Dragon Lord Dramoka, which is a white-green card in an Esper deck, so no one expected it. And that's what I used to love about Standard, being able to kind of make weird decks like that and bust the meta. I would call myself a meta breaker, which is something that used to be a lot easier back in the day when Arena was smaller card pool and I could do more interesting things. But anyway, so I was going to take the Dragon Lord Dramoka and Esper Dragon's deck, but the stupid thing is so my opponent had loads of creatures out, so I used Languish before combat. And Languish says all creatures get -4/-4. And it made Dramoka's power too small, and it was a foolish mistake. And that move ended up costing me the entire game, because he managed to kill me on his turn, on whatever reason. But my point is, these PPTQs, they are so long. I think we had to have like 8 games a day, and they can, like, an hour each, and it's going to be 8 hours. It's a long ass game. It's a long experience, and if you're not prepared mentally or physically, then I wouldn't recommend it. But yeah, it was just the fact that I lost to such a stupid play, and it will haunt me forever, because it also meant I got fewer prizes. But yeah, reaching that point was yeah, it was definitely a lesson to learn. And you know what? I still make mistakes today. So if anybody sees them in the channel, it's just human nature. Everybody makes mistakes. If anybody says they don't, then they are lying. So I guess this is like a weird pseudo apology if I make a mistake in a game. Yeah, it happens. Everyone does it. It just so happens that other creators edit those out more. I put losses in on purpose into my channels. But yeah, if you're going to attack, probably don't use language to weaken your dragon or Dramoka. And that's that really. It's haunted me to this day. Really, really annoying. But oh well, we move on. Okay, next story. This is probably one of my proudest magic moments. I've always wanted to go to Japan with one of my best friends. So I just said to him one day, should we go? And then we basically did. It's it's one of those things you say on a whim and then you do it. But then you know what happens in Japan, we're exploring and experiencing the amazing country. And I'm such a weeb, so you know, it's just like a dream, a haven for weebs, me and my friend. And I thought, you know what, let's look at some magic stores. So we just looked around for some magic stores, and we found, you know, all the pretty big ones like Haruya and all the other big major stores we walked around. One really cool thing about Japan, magic scene is a lot bigger, which is I kind of expected. They love card games and fantasy. I'm not sure if it's the biggest card game they have, but it's big. There's a lot of Pro Tour players from Japan. They have like, if you imagine a scene from The Matrix where Neo summons the gun lockers and it's like racks and racks of cards. That's what Japan is like with their card stores. You just go in, and it's like a heaven for magic cards and all Japanese. And I love Japanese cards, so it's fantastic. And all these great stores. They've got vending machines that sell magic. Oh, I've got a really itchy eye. Oh, I don't know why. I think I'm just allergic to everything, you know. I'm just allergic to my life. I'm just allergic to life. My neck hurts. I'm old. I'm fat. I'm sweaty. Anyway, so if you see me crick my neck, it's because my camera's a weird angle and I'm sat at a desk all day, and I'm twitching because probably the lights are too bright in here. Anyway, I'm decrepit old man. Anyway, I'm in Japan. Are you with me? You're still with me? Uh, and I thought, you know what? Let's play F&M. Follow Night Magic. I had a standard deck with me. It was kind of my intention anyway. I just had to pluck up the courage, and I did. And before I went, my friend taught me like 10 keywords, which I wrote down, and I barely ended up using. But anyway, I went to this tiny store in Tokyo, and it was so tiny that they didn't have any tables, and or they did, but it was like picnic tables, and it was such a small store. They had to put little tables on the countertops, like while they sold cards, sold items. It was really cool. It's such a great experience, and fond memories, fond memories. And you go and it's intimidating. I don't know anybody. You know, I've never been there. I went there prior to buy some cards, but then I went back, and luckily some of them spoke English, and I spoke a tiny bit of Japanese to get me by. Anyway, I played F&M in Japan in a small store by myself because my friend was. He had other plans, which I won't get into. But if you're watching this, if he's watching this, he'll be laughing. Um, anyway, so I play for them against like it must have been 3 or 4 rounds versus Japanese guys, all Japanese, no English really at all. But you know what? Again, going back to the paper real life magic, people are polite, people are kind, people are courteous, and it's so sad to think arena people just shit on you, and it isn't magic. Arena is just it's not the magic, the zest of magic. You know, it's not. I'm sure some of you understand what that means. Some of you won't really, but anyway, so I'm playing 3 or 4 rounds of Magic. I'll win the first round, second round, third round, and then I'll win the whole F&M. And it was just such a surreal experience. And weirdly, that was with Esper Dragons as well. This must have been in a very small window of me, the previous story and this story, both Esper Dragons. But I remember I had a really. I got rules lawyered as well by a Japanese guy. And it was because I played Foul Tongue Invocation, and it's a 3 mana instant makes opponents sacrifice a creature, and there was a discrepancy between the life gain or not, and if I had a dragon or not. But anyway, he like called the judge, and it turned out it was in my favor. But the point is, like, yeah, I won F&M in Japan, and it's like my biggest magic accolade. I'm so proud of that. When I recall the story, it sounds like I feel like I'm lying to myself. I feel like it didn't happen. It was like a dream, but it did because there is photographic evidence of the prizes I won at the time. I'll try and find it, but if I can find that image, I'll attach it to this video. But yeah, it was just such a cool experience for me, and I I don't think I'll ever have that again. You know, that is once in a lifetime. It will never ever happen again. I'll never do that again. So it's something that I'll cherish, and it's something that really makes my journey as a Magic player just really cool. And obviously, Japan's a great place. If you ever get a chance, go there. For anything, food, magic scene, manga, anime, mecha, video games, all the all that culture. But yeah, it was a great experience winning FNM Japan. But again, I did that. It does take some bravery to do that, obviously. But if you want to make small steps to go into LGS, something I would highly recommend just doing that, making that first step, because everybody's a stranger until they're your friend, right? Your best friend, look at your best friend, or think about your best friend right now. At one point, you didn't know each other, and you said hello, or somebody made you laugh, and friends. Same applies for partners. My wife, before I met her, I didn't know her. Then I said hello, and it changed everything. So yeah. But yeah, tell me what you guys think about these types of videos. The reason I made this is because I felt like there's a lot of YouTubers out there, and they've all got their own unique taste, flavor, whatever vibe. If everyone's selling apples, then it gets a bit clouded, right? Cloudy apple pun there. So then I just thought, well, how do I differentiate myself? Because, CGBL, VD, Amazonian, whatever, they can all make, and myself, we can all make the same commander video. Now, some people will just watch one and they'll move on, and then they'll take the deck list and then replicate it, which is fine in itself. That's just the way it works, right? I get that. But then if they're getting all the views for that because they're bigger, then it makes it very difficult for me to stand out with my content. And that's something that I'll never be able to contend with. They'll always have more than me due to several factors, like they do Twitch, they're bigger than me, they're better than me, whatever factors you want to say. And that's fine. I've come to accept that. I'm not gonna be a multi-million sub channel and multi-million view channel today anyway. So I don't know. Maybe doing these videos about stories may interest some of you, or just talking, rambling about stuff. I did try and do it a while ago with podcasts, but obviously, well, they didn't do very well, sadly, which is a shame because I do like podcasts. But I'm not sure if it's because people didn't like my guests, or the audio quality wasn't good for my guests, which I admit the audio quality could have been better. It's just because logistically I couldn't make it work. Maybe it's because my guests weren't magic related and they didn't know that, but I wanted to keep this magic related because obviously you're magic fans. People watching this are going to be magic fans. So I get it. It's taken a while to learn about what people really want. And it's something that I'll never be able to 100% understand, because I'll make a video thinking, Fred did that. Fred made a really good video about, I don't know, the color red in magic. So I go, okay, I'll do that. But then if I do it, it's already been done, right? So then it's the same video with a different voice. But if I give you my experiences, it's something nobody else has. I don't know. Maybe this is just a failure as well. I just feel like I need to have a. I don't even know what I want for this channel. I want to be successful, obviously. Who doesn't really? I would like to be bigger and be able to rely on the channel for monetary reasons and not go to work, because I hate work. Everyone hates work. Okay, I get that. But then, would I like doing this full time? Maybe I'd end up hating this. I don't know. That's the truth of it. But if everyone knows and thinks it, then I guess it's, I don't think anyone's under the illusion that doing anything 24/7 is going to be fun. That's something that you have to get to grips with. So maybe a job is better that you don't enjoy, so you can go home and do the things you like. But then, I don't really know. What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments below. I mean, that's the thing. Anyone could say anything down in the comments below. But is it the right information? Is what you're about to type down there the right information for me? What if the information you give me is 1 out of 1,000 bad ideas, but it could also be 1 of 1,000 good ideas? So what I'm trying to say is, there's no right or wrong answer to YouTube, and I feel like it is just fate or destiny, right? If you're going to do well, it's ingrained in you, and destiny will take you there. YouTube will take you to the upper echelons and reward you. But channel with myself kind of stuck in a, if anyone's played online games, stuck in elo hell or rank hell. That just seems to be me my entire life, to be honest. Every video game I've ever played, I feel like I've been stuck in elo hell. Overwatch, I can never get to the top echelons. I can never seem to get to the top of anything I do. It's kind of, I don't know. It's a strange mentality to have. I understand. I don't have to be competitive, but I am inherently competitive. But I don't. It's hard to answer why that is. Why do I want the channel to do well? I don't know. I guess it's a reflection of me, and I just want to make connections. I guess I want to feel like I'm worth something, which I feel like I'm psychoanalyzing myself in real time here, because I want to feel like I have a purpose, because sometimes I feel like I don't have one, and I don't know. Yeah, we're going down some psycho philosophical stuff here, but yeah, tell me how you feel about these kind of videos. Maybe I'll do more stories. Maybe just I'll call this story time, and people will enjoy listening to me ramble on about stuff that's happened, or maybe make it more topical. But then, in a world where media is so saturated, how does anyone stay unique? I actually think it's impossible, isn't it? It's actually impossible. So if it is impossible, then just have fun and do what you like, I guess. So I've just answered my own question. So here we go. This is fun. I'm enjoying this. It's just something a bit different. Playing arena all the time can get really, really toxic. I'm sure you know. I quit playing arena years ago when I used to grind standard. That's why I quit standard, because it just got too much, especially when they printed Nexus of Fate. Oh, that card was cancer. And it was a buy box promo as well. I understand a lot of these words I'm saying people won't understand, but basically, buy box promo is you buy a box, you get a particular card, not in the set. Toxic, very toxic trait from WotC. But yeah, I stopped playing standard to play commander, to then play arena, to make historic brawl videos because I thought it's gonna be fun. But then historic brawl, like every other format, just gets overwhelming and too painful. There's just bans that haven't happened. There's just stuff that hasn't happened. So maybe I need to have these detox videos where I just talk to you guys and just engage, because this is fun. I like talking to people. That's the main reason I made the channel, after all. So always free to talk. Uh, if you want to say anything comment wise in the comment section, it's all good. I've got Discord open as well. It is exclusive though. You have to join the Patreon or donate to enter the exclusive Discord. I have to have some incentives for my really awesome fans that are already in there. But yes, if anyone wants to support the channel, look at the description box below. You can donate via Ko-fi or Discord, and you can get custom video as well. And yeah, thank you to everyone who has already supported me. There's some cool perks there. Getting your own custom video, a lot of people seem to like that. And yeah, I guess until next time, bye bye. Did you know that you can help my channel by watching another one of my videos? Go ahead, you know you want to.